Hello everybody, this is Coach Tara Woodruff, the Helpful Entrepreneur, and in today's video I'm going to discuss why leaders make you feel safe. This was a TED Talk by Simon Sinek, and I'm going to discuss my thoughts on that and how it applies to network marketing and internet marketing. Stay tuned. That people lead inside of the workplace from a place of fear and threatening. For instance, if your boss says things like, you should be lucky to have your job, you should feel lucky to have your job, or I'm not going to put my job on the line for that, or things like that, where they induce all this fear, like all of a sudden, every time that you go to work, you're not sure if it's your last day, if the axe is going to fall. And that produces a physiological problem with you. You might notice that if you're unhappy at work or nervous about whether or not your job's going to last, you might notice that you start gaining weight, your cortisol levels rise, and your body goes into fight or flight mode. And basically that happened to me at my last job at Publix 3 years ago. I left the job because I couldn't do it anymore. I was just wrapped up in this. It was pain and suffering to me. When I got in the car in the morning, to go to work, I was very upset. Sometimes I even cried. Walking up to the job, every time I got to the door, I fought turning back. I always had to pep myself up. I always had to talk myself into it. And one of the major things that I had was that I started gaining a lot of weight, and I just never knew when it was going to be the last day. Not because I thought I was going to be fired, but because the work was so physical that my body, from working in the service industry, has it's taken a toll on me. Both shoulders have torn rotator cuffs. I have major tunnel issues, like my carpal tunnel and my orbital tunnel, and my left hand has left this hand like barely functioning. So it's one of those things, and I just had a lot of stress about it. I also was embarrassed about being there. I was embarrassed about the position I had. I was embarrassed about my uniform. I was afraid people that I thought were powerful people or great people that I worked with before in the past, when I was in like the automobile industry or something like that, when they came in. I remember my boss came in one day to the deli, and I saw him and I hid because I was embarrassed that I was actually working in a supermarket at a deli. That's just me. That doesn't mean there's any shame in that game. I provided a really important service there, and one of the things that I did for the customers was, no matter what their day was like, I made sure that they knew it was me and that it was okay, and I was going to do my best to make their experience with me the best possible. And it was possible and probable, and often did happen, that they went on throughout the rest of their day feeling better because of their interaction with me. So I did take pride in that part. And eventually I had to stop. I knew that when my back threw out, when I went to the workman's comp thing, that they were very, ready to not allow me to have any time off. They were very ready to fight me on the injuries that I was receiving from my job. So I knew it wasn't for me. But in reference to network marketing and the subject that Simon talks about in his TED Talk, why good leaders make you feel safe, I'm going to put the video for that underneath here. It's excellent. I highly suggest you watch it. How does that apply to network marketing? Well, it's pretty prevalent in network marketing. There are different kinds of enrollers. I'm going to call them enrollers because I'm not going to call them leaders when they don't behave in the way that makes you feel safe. But there are people out there that are relatively good at enrolling, and yet they don't ever make you feel safe. You're never quite sure what's going to happen. I had an experience last year, or about a year ago, where I literally was with, the people that sponsored me into the team in the company that I was in at the time. I was constantly getting phone calls. My job went from prospecting to running interference. I wouldn't add my team members to their little group because I knew that they were going to sell them. There was just constant fear that they were trying to hawk my people. They were sending, I would get, phone calls and messages, hey, how come I'm getting sales copy from blah, 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 and it just got to the point where it was absolutely obvious that they would do whatever it took and, take whoever they could. And it was obvious later on when I removed myself from that situation and moved on to be my own leader and to find people that I wanted to work with that I didn't have fear of. That was true because as they kept joining company after company after company after company, they kept going after my people, and it was just like, wait a minute, these guys are in my tribe. These are my quartet, because you develop this family-like atmosphere in network marketing. So I want you to think about this when you're dealing with your enroller or other people, whatever. I want you to be sure that you feel safe there. For instance, in the Internet Lifestyle Network, the company, Vincent Ortega, Mark Hoverson, and Clifton Hatfield, awesome, integrity-filled people, love them. They make this promise to us. They make this promise that you are never going to have your people sold anything outside of something that you can make a profit off of. It even goes so far as, there's levels in our organization which are high-ticket items. So you can come in at a $37 a month blogging platform with some beautiful training. Then you can go pro and get crazy amounts of training, really take it to the next level. And then you can go up and up to Solomon CEO and GRN, and you get so much, but the prices go up and the profits go up for you. Now, say in our company, and this is unlike, I've never heard of it before, and I'm hoping that it becomes a trend in this industry because network marketing needs some work in this area. Instead of saying, oh, you don't own that, so ethically, you don't deserve to make a commission off of that, which I think is total bunk. If you are bringing the prospect, you're the one prospecting, correct? If you're the one bringing the prospect to the opportunity, and they decide to go further than you should at least make a commission because you brought them to that and somebody got to make a commission off of it. Our company gives you 10% on all products you don't own. If you do own them, then you get the commissions the way they're supposed to be. You get your 50%. Okay, so they're paying people for things that they don't even know because they know that the work that you do in prospecting means a lot. And they want you to upgrade, and if they keep keeping the money from you, you're never going to have the money to upgrade. What if this is the first company that you could actually own a basic package and drive traffic to it? You could buy solo ads for it because it's okay. You're in good hands. They never have webinars where they bring on a trainer and all of a sudden they're trying to train you, sell you another package that they got to deal with the guys and they don't got to deal with you, and then you've driven these people to this webinar, and next thing you know, they're buying products and other people are making money off of your people. You're not a fish in the pond, okay, guys? And I want you to be really aware of that. I want you to start standing up for yourself in this industry. When it comes to enrollers, when it comes to founders, when it comes to companies, you don't ever allow someone to charge you to get paid. Don't ever allow someone to sell a product to your people that you drove to the webinar, to the product, not to give you a piece of the action. Don't allow it anymore, guys. And when it becomes easier for you to discern this, when you get to the point where you are really self-aware and you start following your gut. And I've been in this industry for about 6 years, and I often ignored my gut. That's been kind of my running theme throughout my life. I ignored my gut and got in trouble. I ignored my gut and and it carried through because I didn't fix that. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that I needed to focus on it, but once in a while you just say, oh no, maybe I'm just being paranoid, or maybe I'm just being overcautious, I'm telling you right now, if you can feel it in your gut that it's not right, trust it. Because you will end up in an organization or in a team where they don't give a shit about you, and they're going to sell your people whatever it is they'll buy, and you're just the middleman and you get left out. Okay? So be aware of that. The reason why I think it's really important to join T&K Alliance and to join Team Phoenix and ILN is because that doesn't happen with us. We already understand what that feels like. You're not going to get a phone call from someone saying, hey, I got this thing, oh well, I'm enrolled under Kara, that's okay. When you are yourself and you're driving traffic to somebody else because they're holding trainings or whatnot like that, you shouldn't feel as if they're going to be sold something you're not going to make a cut off of. It's not right. So in this industry, especially coming from, most people didn't start here. Some people did, like Jaden. He started here. God bless him. Love him. Frazier, I believe he went to the Navy, so he got the feeling, he's like, okay, I'm not going to be doing that work for you thing. Some people do actually begin in this industry. Jonathan Budd. Most people come from the workplace, whether it's a blue collar or a white collar workplace, and they've experienced that already. Now, some people will say this is cutthroat, dog eat dog. And it's not. It doesn't need to be. There's no reason why you need to leave your ethics at the door when you enter any business. There's none. Businesses actually run better when you have ethics. So I want you to really get focused, guys, and I want you to go with the people that make you feel safe. If you feel like, oh man, I don't know, if you feel like I'm not sure, if you feel that way and you are a decision maker, then you need to walk away from that situation. Cut your ties when you can. I cut my ties as soon as possible. I didn't have that feeling at first, and it sort of started creeping in, and then it started becoming manifest. You know what I'm saying? So be careful. Be careful out there. You could have people that call you friends that you could say that you've been friends with. Get together with you, say, oh, let's look at this opportunity together, and let's get on the phone with the person that's going to enroll me, and we'll work this out, and then we'll all go, and tell our people what we're doing. And then that never happens. The next thing you know, your right-hand man is joined up underneath the other person. That's not right. If you feel that way, if you're never sure if someone's going to snake you, you've got to be really confident in your own gut. If you don't do the personal development, the self-development, and develop that self-esteem right now to know that you can trust your intuition, don't even enter this business yet. Stay at your job and keep your mouth shut and save your money so you can start buying courses and hiring coaches and doing personal development books and listening to CDs in the car so that you can develop that initial gut. That's really, really important, because if you don't have belief in your decisions, you're not going to have belief in any company, any team, anything you go into. So it's super important. And when it's time, when you run into a situation where you realize that, it's time for me to go, just go. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The only time people are going to hate on you is when they're not making money off you anymore. You know what I mean? They'll do anything. They'll say anything. They'll post nasty things about you on Facebook and pretend like they weren't talking about you. They'll do all sorts of crazy stuff. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you and your experience in your life up until this point is valuable. And the most valuable commodity you have right now is your time. So you have to choose who you spend it with, and you have to choose how you spend it here. Okay, guys? So leaders make you feel safe. So I want you to work on developing that inside yourself. And the only way that you can help the people that you attract to your business feel safe is if you can feel safe with them being with the people you are attracted to. Okay? If you don't feel safe enough to add somebody to a group on Facebook because you know that the person that enrolled you will do whatever they can to sell them whatever they can and leave you out of the cut, then you have enrolled with the wrong person. I have walked away from mentors because of that. Not because the mentor was doing that, but because they would not see what was happening. And then later they did. And later it shows. So be a person that people can feel safe with. That doesn't mean that you've got to be a wish-wash or you've got to be a lay-down or you've got to let people walk all over you. What it means is develop your ethics and your intuition and stick to it. Because in the long run, you're going to have a much stronger team that works much harder, and you all will be able to collaborate to make 6 figures in a month, 6 months, a year. You'll be able to collaborate with people that trust you and that you can trust in return. And with the experience they have with you, they'll develop the mindset so the people they attract can trust them. Don't ever, ever, ever allow yourself to be in a situation where your gut says no. Okay, if you're in a job and you know that you need to get out of there because it's a problem, you never know when that axe is going to fall. You know that you're worth more than $5,000 a month, you're worth more than $1,000 a month. When I was working, I was making $1,100 a month. I was holding up freaking, oh my God. And when I walked away, I had nothing saved. Obviously, how could I? I was living under the axe all the time. You know what I mean? In my experience in this, I have gone through so much that I have so much to bring to the table, so much experience. Not because I've made 6 figures, I've never claimed it. I've never said, I enrolled, I see this one guy, he's from a different company, or he was, he's gone, gone. He made like $700,000 in his first 30 days or something like that. You know how he did that? He stole from his prospects. That wasn't him. He sold co-op packages to his people, And he took the freaking leads. Guess what? He's not in business anymore. And if they ever catch up with him, he might go to prison. You do not have to be unethical to be successful. If you want to be unethical, go sell drugs somewhere. Don't even enter this business, because this business has two problems. The people that come in that aren't willing to work and want to bitch about it, and the people that come in that scam and scrape and hurt and do all that evil shit, the people that do not do that you can't trust. They're the ones that hurt the name in this industry. They're the ones that hurt the name in the regular jobs. Could you imagine how much nicer your job would be if you were the boss and you were ethical about it? Think about it. So why not create your own future? But you can't do it if you don't trust your gut, if you don't follow your intuition, and you don't become someone people can feel safe with. That's my message for the day. For all you awesome rock stars, you network marketing, internet, MLM rock stars, you go out there and crush it, and go and call your people and ask them, what can I do for you today? Is there anything you feel uncomfortable? Is there something about my approach I can change so that I can grow as a leader? Ask them that. They'll help you. They already love you. They're already in business with you. Okay? I love you all. Peace. Oh, by the way, if you want to work with someone awesome like me that'll never cut your throat, right down there. There's the link. Let's do this.